This is my first full-size quilt that I've made. The inspiration are those photo mosaics where lots of small related pictures make up one larger one. Instead of the photos, we used fabrics from my daughter's Trek outfits and filled them in with other fabrics that would fill out the picture. At the bottom, we've got the start of the trail where we are, and then it fades off into the distance and to the horizon where it meets the sky. We are to the point in the quilt where we're ready to draw the lines on that we will do the quilting. Most of the lines will follow the edges of the trail. We'll make some rocks and stuff on the trail too. And then off to the side there will be trees, like that one, that will fill out the detail a little more on trees and grasses. And then at the bottom of the quilt, I want to have a hand cart. And then at the top of the quilt where the horizon is, where the trail meets the horizon where we want to go, we're going to have the temple that will ray off into the sky. And I'll show you how I did that, because that element is not in the quilt at all. So the hand cart is the biggest element on the quilt that I wanted to add. I drew that on a paper that's just about the full size of the quilt across so that I could see where the placement of that's going to be. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that out and trace around the lines with a water-soluble fabric marker, which I've already tested on my fabric, so I know that it'll disappear when I wash it with a sponge. But I will trace all of these elements, and then I will work in the individual elements on the quilt based on the picture, like the trees and the grass and the rocks from there. And I will do the same thing at the top. There's the picture of my temple that I want to add in, and I will cut along the rays and along the outside of that and put those along the horizon before I fill in the clouds and the rest of the sky details up at the horizon. Alright, I've cut out my handcart design, and now it's just time for me to go around and trace the edges. One thing you'll notice is that there are some inside pieces that will eventually have to be cut out. For the first step, I'm just going around the outside and trimming the very basics. And you can see as I get closer that the lines are on the fabric that I will follow as I hand quilt, which is what I chose to do for this project. And eventually the whole quilt will be covered in these little blue lines. Find as I draw the lines that a light touch is good, and I sometimes go over the line 2 or 3 times to get it to the darkness that I prefer so that I can see it clearly when I lift up the pattern. I finished tracing the hand cart. You can see I used some white on some of those darker fabrics, and I wasn't really liking the way that it looked. And so I came down, and you can see on some of these darker fabrics, like right along here, you can still see the lines, and it looks better off camera actually. So I'm just going to keep using the blue. I'm finding that I'm not liking the white as a marker as much. But I'm going to pin back out. I don't think you'll be able to see it very well though. No. Come in. There's the spokes. And you can see the lines on the dark fabrics. There's my sketch for the top of the quilt. I will trace the outsides and then slowly cut away so that by the time it's all cut away, I will have all the rays. I'll cut from the outside to the inside and do one at a time. And then at the bottom, I'll probably freehand that part back in depending on how confident I feel.
Thank you for watching this video. If you like what you saw, please take a second to click the like button now and to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, please check out my blog at www.areformedheathen.blogspot.com. Happy crafting!